Welcome back, everybody, to the Behind the Lava Lava podcast. I'm Spencer. I'll be hosting today, joined today by the Prez, Michael Tan. Thank you all for tuning in. This is going to be kind of a recap. It's been a, activity-filled 2024. A lot of highlights, a lot of low points in the year. We're going to kind of go over all of that. But, it's Christmas season. It's kind of nice to just reflect on what's going on, and see what we're grateful for, and maybe give an eye to the future and what kind of New Year's resolutions we want to do. So thanks for joining us. Let me just kick it to Michael. What do you got for us, man?
So I wanted to start off by asking you, how do you feel the podcast has evolved over? We're going on to our third year, but how do you feel the podcast has evolved, either this year or throughout those 3 years?
Well, I definitely say the main way that we've evolved a little bit is obviously when we started, we were a bit more topical. Everything was revolving around a topic, usually controversial topics for the Pacifica community. And we still try to get to those points, but as we expanded, we kind of shifted our gears towards sharing our platform to highlight people's businesses and, try to get the good word out for people who are trying to grind, get their business going, specifically people in the Pacifica community or the veteran community, which that's a good thing. But, as life has gone on, we all get busy and not busy at different times. And so it's hard for us to all get together and revisit the topical stuff, which are my favorite episodes and content to produce. I believe that pretty much goes for everybody. But I mean, at the same time, building a platform where we can highlight things that definitively benefit people that are out there trying to make it. I'm happy that that's something that we can do. How about you? How do you perceive that? Like, how have we grown and evolved in your eyes?
Well, we've definitely have recorded the least amount of episodes. We've only recorded about 28 episodes of this year. This episode will be the 29th. But I think we're still in that beginning phase. Yes, the first year we were gung-ho, recording every week, trying to push out content. But then, as you've said before, life hit us, and then now we've gone to recording maybe twice a month to once a month to once every 3 months. I know there was a period where for 3 months we were booked back to back on having guests and highlighting businesses, and you were right. Discussing topics, I feel we should return back to those roots, because in a way it's kind of our venting session where we come out, we become fiapocos, we try to talk about topics that we know nothing about, but it's during those topics that we learn from each other, that we become, in sort of a way, we bond and get to know each other more. And at the same time, we kind of educate ourselves, and it makes for good content because a lot of people can relate to those topics, either, whether it'll be mental health, or as veterans, or as fathers, or whatnot. But I think we have evolved a lot, and it's just based on everyone's time, and it's a good thing, because we're still trying to get our foothold on things. Hopefully it will get a little better next year. Hopefully that we will start to put out more topic-based discussions so that people can enjoy, and also for us to also enjoy our time doing this, because I know you mentioned in the past that you enjoyed coming on to this platform because of the topic-based discussion. So that's my point of view. It's similar to yours.
Well, it's like at the end of the day, I'm a talker. I'm not really a businessman, so it's like there's only so much insight I can give when we're breaking down businesses. But it's fun to do the business stuff because I want to learn about this person's journey and what they're doing, and like that's a discussion in itself. But there's that old saying: "Don't forget what got you to the dance." And the what created this platform was those topical explorations that we were doing, and that's what gave us a foundation to build the foundation. Like behind the Lava Foundation, the reason anybody gave a crap about that is because we built a following based off of that. And so like it's just about finding balance, and I wouldn't even say that we're off balance out of a shift in our focus. It's just more of a shift in our time, our availability. But going strong for 3 years with a cast of 5 or 6, depending on the time is, that's a difficult thing to do. Everybody's at different phases. I'm usually kind of reliable because I'm Mr. Single guy with no responsibilities, so like there's that. And so, like it's just out of, everybody has their moments of fluctuation, but at the same time, that being said, like we have plenty to look back on to be proud of in this last year, because there's that other old saying, it's all about quality, not quantity. Like I actually prefer that, we have something worth saying and that we're not just filling up empty airtime. It's like, hey, we got to do our once a week recording. I'm like, well, if I don't have much to say that week, then why am I wasting everybody's time by just, talking out into the ether? And so when I look back on our content this year, like I would say we've made some of my favorite episodes this year, and had some of my favorite guests. I like ones where it's expanded my understanding of certain topics I was very ignorant to before. And so we'll go down that and start exploring that. But I don't know how you feel about that, Michael. Like if there's any highlights that stand out to you, particularly for 2024, just comparing ourselves to the previous years.
So yeah, I think the highlights for me is, because I'm sure they'll cover this person that I'm thinking of, but the highlights for me that's in addition is interviewing every business, because we're able to connect with them and get their support on the podcast. So I don't know anything about business. I've been involved in a lot of business stuff, but having these entrepreneurs and business owners, especially veterans, kind of motivates me to want to start my own business. But at the same time, I don't want to leave the luxury of and stability of my government job. But because of all the businesses that we've interviewed and my networking that I've been doing outside of podcasting, going to these events here in Utah, we were able to launch our nonprofit and officiate it this March. So a lot of good things, but I just want to shout out all the business owners that we've highlighted on our podcast since the beginning. They're out there hustling, doing their best to provide for their families, seek out their purpose and their passion, just like how we are seeking out our passion for the podcast and for our nonprofit. But what's your memorable moment or the highlights for the guests that we've had?
Oh man, there's so many. Like you said, our business folks, we're happy that we could share our platform for you, and we hope that all your businesses see a boost for being with us. But man, there's some where I wasn't even on the podcast, so I'll talk to William, who does the Matau language program. I signed up for it, but I haven't been doing my homework. But I wish I could have been on that episode. I think I had drill or something that weekend, but that was I listened to that one. I thought y'all did a great job interviewing him. Really cool to hear his story, his takes on things. I thought it was a real highlight for me having Jaya on, because as I expressed in the episode, I'm very unfamiliar with a lot of what Fa'afafine stuff is. I had some genuine misunderstandings, misconceptions, and it was really cool to get Jaya's take straight there to like explaining that to me and like kind of schooling me. And I was like, man, that was I learned a lot in that episode, and like it, I was happy that we were able to do that interview. No, those are some of my favorites. Like as far as like our guest appearances go, but man, like all of our guests were great. It was really fun to like go through. Frankie and Jess, I didn't even know who they were because I never really listened to Utah radio like that. When I was a kid, it was just 94.5 or whatever the pop and music station was, but I didn't listen to any talk radio. But I know you had a connection with them before, and so it was kind of cool to hear your connection with them and hear their stories, and it was like a really inspiring episode.
The person who stood out to me because of her energy and how positive she was Nina Love. I'm not sure if you were part of that episode. She wrote a book. Well, she was a publisher, right? But her energy, she came out, we interviewed her, and the only person who matched her energy was Fa'apipili Hankin. So shout out to those two women. I believe they worked together to publish Fa'apipili Hankin's book, Heart of a Warrior. So I love it when people bring that positive energy, that motivational and inspirational energy to our podcast, because it kind of wakens up our podcast or livens up our podcast a little. So I enjoy the diverse variety of people that we've had on our platform this year. So what challenges do you think, aside from showing up and recording, what are some challenges that you think we faced this year as a team on the podcast side or on the nonprofit side?
Well, I think part of it is just finding topics to discuss. You know what I mean? Because we started off, hey, we're Fiapoko Samoan veterans that talk about taboo subjects, but it's like, how many taboo subjects are out there? Like, now I'm sure there are obviously more to explore, but it's like, also it's like, I don't like him and everything on just being an internet edgelord, where it's like, oh, I just want to be the contrarian, so what people are talking about. But it's like, no, if I really have a little pushback, somebody says we shouldn't call ourselves Pacific Islanders, it's like, hey, well, let's just talk about it. But that's just us throwing mud at the wall, seeing what sticks. But I think the challenge is like, sometimes I'm not connected to the wider internet poly community. And so because of that, it's like, kind of exploring like what topics to talk about. I'm like, I'm not really on the internet like that. I am on the internet a lot, but for like more local stuff, I guess. And so being connected to the wider internet poly network, like I don't quite hear what's the big topic going on that we need to break down and discuss. So that's kind of a challenge when we're trying to come up with topical things to discuss.
Yeah, by the time the trend is out on what topic is popular or trending, it'll be too late for us to even talk about it. So that's a big issue. And to our listeners, if you have any specific topics that you want us behind the Lava Lava to talk about, please send us a message or drop a comment on this episode. There's also a feature available on Buzzsprout that is called fan mail. You can actually write us fan mail to our podcast platforms. But make sure, if you have a topic that you want us to discuss, shoot us a message. Yeah, that's the main thing on our podcast, and trying to pump out content, because based on my availability and my creativity, which I'm not that creative, I try to find time to go through all our episodes and record a clip and post it on social media, just to get some awareness of our podcast. So that's been an issue, is putting out short reels and content for me. But on the nonprofit side, I've done for 2025. I've put out a post on social media looking for volunteers just to grow our nonprofit manpower. That's been a struggle this year, is where we don't have enough help to kind of grow our nonprofit in terms of, needing people to set up an event, fundraising. We actually need people to add to our leadership team so that we'll have people who can choose the winners of our grants and scholarship. We'll have event planning team. So you'll kind of delegate things instead of just doing things like how we've been doing it. So that's the issue that I'm trying to fix for 2025 is volunteers. We need a lot of volunteers. And to our listeners, if you want to volunteer for Behind the Lava Lava Foundation, please contact us and we'll put you on our volunteer list for 2025.
No, that's the thing. It's like, first off, Michael, don't sell yourself short like on your creativity, because you're the driving force of what this is. But I think if anything, look, you have legit aspirations. You want this to be, you've grown this into something like, beyond what I thought. I'm like, look, I just show up to talk. I've said that many times before, and that's all I ever needed it to be. But, look, we just hosted a Veterans Day dinner, our second annual one, and our guest speaker was Tulsi Gabbard. It's like never in a million years did I think that Tulsi Gabbard would be speaking at an event that we are hosting through our little podcast, and at the end of the day, that just goes to show, look, this is a passion project. And the thing is like, my passion was more towards discussion and conversation. Your passion is like, no, I want to expand this and support and help people, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just that with that level of growth, we do need some more hands in on this. And like, when it's just us tuning in and talking, doesn't need that much, you don't need that big of a crew. But, that's another reason for the episode like churn out to like kind of delay, is that you're solely handling the editing responsibilities. That's not a quick and easy thing to do, and so it's like, with more programs and areas that we're covering, you're just kind of spread thin, but be proud of what you've built. And all that means is we just need to find some volunteers and expand the family a bit.
Yeah, and I think it's change from passion, because passion was what started the podcast. It's kind of changed into a purpose now that we have the nonprofit. So it's quickly flipped, managing the podcast and the nonprofit. Now it's more of a purpose, which is good, because passion can only take you so far. You need purpose to kind of drive things forward. So I'm glad that we picked up the nonprofit side of things, just to kind of keep things busy and kind of make more of an impact, because I don't want to really solely be a podcast that just talks and not make a difference. I want to be a podcast that talks and what's that saying? Talks the walk, right?
You want to walk the walk and just talk the talk.
Yeah, that saying. So, yeah.
See, and all I wanted to do was talk, but I'm lazy. But no, and I'm glad that, I can just ride along, and, at the end of the day, we're here to support you and what you do. But, but we, look at what we've been able to accomplish. I don't think it was until the first of our annual Veterans Day dinners that I started to really see the vision that you had. Like I was like, dang, man, we got this all going. And Michael, you put in all that legwork, finding the sponsors, finding the venues, setting everything up. It was like, it was crazy when I first saw it. I couldn't believe it. And then it only grew from there into the Veterans Day dinner we just had last month. There are very tangible things to measure the success of what we've grown. But, going forward, we want to do that. But at the same time, we have to maintain our foundation. The foundation of the foundation is the podcast itself. The only reason we had a following is because we had the this discussion platform off topics people gave a crap about. So we need to make sure that we can maintain that, because at the core, the foundation that supports everything else is the podcast that we started.
Yeah. And man, I forgot what I was about to say, but I think I came to a realization that as we were going along with the podcast, I realized that there was a need for things. That's why we started the dinner. We needed another veterans dinner, and as you put it, we celebrate our veterans dinner Pacific Islander style. So I think I'm gonna start marketing it that way from now on. So thanks for bringing in that perspective. I was thinking the same thing, but it kind of reminded me on this second dinner that we aren't specifically for Pacific Islanders. The Veterans Day dinner for Behind the Lava Lava is for all veterans, and we hosted our first veteran-owned business holiday market the beginning of December, and I think that was a success. For the very first market, we had about 47 vendors show up to sell their craft, sell their services, sell their whatever, their business and nonprofits. They all came out to support. So next year, I think it will grow, and I think it will be better for next year. And I'm grateful for our sponsors out there who want to be part of the events that we're holding. American United Federal Credit Union for the Veterans Day dinner, and Cypress Credit Union for the holiday market, and all our food sponsors. And shout out to Pacifica Foods, and shout out to Nothing But Grinds, and everyone who has donated and supported us from the beginning. Without the support of our sponsors and our donors, we wouldn't be able to hold these events. Shout out to the Utah Veteran Business Resource Center. They are our partner. They are located in Sandy. So if you, a veteran or their spouse, if you want to start a business or grow your business, contact the Veteran Business Resource Center. Becky and the team will help you out. They have courses and free resources. Their motto is your service paid for our service. I think that's how it goes. So shout out to all our donors and sponsors.
Now, all the business and guest stuff aside, like we did have a few episodes where we were able to do some topical discussions, and I felt like we had some pretty good ones, like I think a lot of those boil down to just me and you, our little sessions outside of like the Maya Fiapocos episode was really fun, and we did that one with T. That was really fun. We ought to do more segments like that. But even just one where we're just having our therapy sessions again, like the navigating faith was a kind of an insightful one. And then of course I had to throw out the one where I'm like, let's just talk about dudes crying, It's like, hey, we didn't cry on the episode, so don't get at me, But it was a good episode. Like I thought we covered some good ground in there. Like, I don't know. As far as those topics are concerned, I thought we had some pretty good episodes, some highlights for the year,
Yeah, I enjoyed those episodes. I think for that I Am Fiapoco, we just need to improve our reading, because our reading sucks. Reading all those content and trying to figure out if the person who wrote it is a Fiapoco or not. But I think we will continue at least one episode next year, and hopefully T and Ati will join us next year. See what happens, yep. Ati. You've been absent a lot that I'm starting to forget your name. So
man, who was that guy again? Who's the guy with the long hair and the Smokey the Bear hat? It's like, but no, we should do that. And on listeners, send in your scenarios, because that would be better. Because we'd love to get some the Fiapoco like questions from the actual following that we have. So. But at the end of the day, we appreciate you all, and thanks for rocking with us like you have been. we're looking forward to good things. Like, so, just kind of thinking about that, like, we're about to wrap up 2024. We're going into 2025. Are there anything specific that you're looking forward to? And I'm not even just talking about just the podcast, like anything in the upcoming year you're looking forward to, Michael?
I'm looking forward to collaborating with other podcasts, hopefully collaborations with other organizations, and hopefully we'll be able to start recording in studios. Whoever is here in Utah, or maybe I can record in studio with guests to create more content and create more episodes. But I'm actually looking forward to next year in also growing the nonprofit side. I actually want to create a youth program because our nonprofit is mainly about supporting and serving our veterans and their families, but we also want to empower them with opportunities to grow, opportunities to help them in sports, education, business, and culture and art. So the main thing I'm looking forward to is just growing the nonprofit so that we can make a bigger difference, because I think that we can make a bigger impact in the community in Utah. Hopefully the next 5-10 years, the nonprofit will be national, but I want to focus on Utah right now and just create more events, collaborate with other organizations, and just provide opportunities for veterans and their families. So if you have an idea, to our listeners, if you have an idea, please shoot us a message on what program you would like to see. If you see a need out there for our youth, for our veterans and families, please shoot us a message and we can talk.
What are you looking? Too many ideas, man. Because like we just talked about how you're spread thin, and now you want to spread yourself even thinner. It's like, come on, man. You got enough on your plate? You want to build more stuff? It's like,
hey, the work never ends. I feel like we can do more. That's why I need.
I'm a lazy guy, man. I disagree.
Yeah, that's
like I got enough going
maybe
on.
Spencer will start a dinner in Las Vegas, but I want to. When I'm provided with the resources, I want to use the resources that I have, instead of just holding it back.
How noble of you. No, but I got you. No, that's a good thing. I'll never discourage somebody from wanting to like do more. Like I just want to do my thing, record my session, and go fight Kava or something like that. But it's
that's what you need to do is take a camera or take this app to your Fight Kava sessions and clip on one of those wireless mics and just record your Fight Kava sessions.
Travel mic, yeah. Well, it's like I'd be cool with that. There's definitely a lot of guys that I would love to like do a discussion with, but that's something I would look forward to in the upcoming year. For sure. Definitely a lot of people I've floated the idea of like collaborating with. So we'll try to make some ground with that in 2025, especially here in the Vegas area. That's the thing is like, a lot of the foundation and stuff, because you and T are located in Utah, and you being the driving force behind the podcast, a lot of the community building stuff is happening for the community in Utah. But I'm like, I'm not even in Utah. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm about to probably be moving to Pahrump if things go well this coming year, but still in Nevada, you know what I mean? But so sometimes I lose focus on a lot of the community building stuff because we're building a community that I'm not living in, But it's all for the good, and I'm glad to be a part of it. But that's why sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I need to start building stuff here in Vegas, because there's plenty of people here in Vegas that I talk to and want to collaborate with as well.
So what are you most grateful for as we wrap up this year?
Oh, man. Like I said, like this podcast is always a highlight, because I've been able to expand my knowledge on so many things in the poly community, meet so many people, like, so I'm grateful for this platform, and to keep it going, but I this year's been a bit of a game changer for me. I've almost worked a full year in the job. I started off the year transferring to a new job, and that's done. It's been a real highlight of this year. It's a little rocky for me to kind of get things figured out at first, but once I got things figured out, now I consider myself being in the honeymoon phase of it, where I'm just looking forward to going to work, and then just the community of people that I have around me here in Las Vegas, whether it's my Phi Kava groups or just my roommates that I live with. I've got some good people around me, so grateful for all them. Oh, I got to meet Damian Marley and Stephen Marley this year, so that's a highlight too. Couldn't get them on the podcast though.
Yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to serve our community here in Utah, especially our veterans. I don't really go out and seek the opportunities; they just come to me. I think there's a misconception that people have. They think that I have money. They approach me asking for money, but they don't realize that I'm broke and I don't have money, but it's mostly the nonprofits money. Just to clarify, the nonprofit has money, but we are still a young nonprofit, so we can't donate or sponsor, even though there are a lot of causes out there that we want to support. But currently we're not able to because it's mainly our first year. But that misconception that I have money personally is false. So
couldn't be further from the truth for both of us, because it's like I was this dumb thing. Let me tell this dumb quick story, and it's a dumb story. But I was on Instagram, and I just waste time. I'm flipping through there, and I see this lieutenant in the Army. And she's like just doing her, military influencer thing, which is just, it's such a weird thing to me because it's just not my generation. I'm old. I need to get out. But I'm like, all right, whatever. She's just, she did that skit, and that you've seen a dozen times, like guaranteed, going back a few years, where the first time I saw it was a Marine, and he's holding up a stack of cards. And on the front card, it says, people think Marines are dumb, but what they don't realize is, and then he's supposed to drop the front card, but he starts dropping all the cards from the back. It's a funny joke. The problem is like everyone's done that joke by now. So I don't know why, but I commented on her thing. I was like, can we end this 10-year-old trend already? Like, not even knocking her, but just knocking the recycled joke that's been around. I'm just so sick of seeing. And she took real offense to that. She clicked on, she responded to me. And the funny thing was that here's this chick, she has thousands of followers, military influencer chick. But here she is clicking on my little profile and digging. She went down the rabbit hole because then she sees that I'm on the Behind the Lava Lava podcast, and then she goes, what's this podcast? And it's because on one of our episodes, I can't remember if it's on the page itself or the episode says highlighting veterans or supporting veterans or whatever. So she goes down that rabbit hole and then comes back to my little comment, and she's like, for someone who says they want to support veterans, you don't seem very supportive. Aren't we a little discriminatory or whatever? And I just replied to her I was like, first off, I was going at the joke, not at you personally. Second of all, it's I don't know what that has to do with my podcast, but I was just telling her, I was like, I just call her attention seeking whore or something like that. But I was just really? And I was like, you're that petty. And I was like, go ahead and by all means vent your frustrations after your thousands of followers and all these accolades, because they're just not enough for you. Just started some stupid internet beef. But the thing is, she replied to that with, yeah, whatever. Don't have time for you. Good luck with your podcast grift, bro. Podcast grift? What grift? Well, she thinks I'm making money off of this thing? No. First off, every cent we make, it goes into building the podcast itself. But more so, all of the additional monies, if we're not building the podcast, it's going towards the foundation. every cent goes towards like setting up the Veterans Day dinner, which we've hosted 2 this year, and giving scholarships, like it's everywhere that we can. Like we see zero money from this. So I'm like, podcast grift. I'm like, oh, hey, tell me how to do this podcast grift, because I guarantee you're making more money off social media than me, chick. But it's like I just thought that was funny, because I'm like, dang, she really thinks I'm making money off of this thing.
Man, Spence, you trolling. But yeah,
it's a bad habit of mine.
We don't make money from the podcast. We're a nonprofit. My wife is always harping on me. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that when it's coming out of our pocket, or we're not making money from it? But it's all passion and our commitment to serve our community.
Project. Yep.
So that's when we get money for a nonprofit. It just goes back out. We give it away, basically. But what I'm most grateful for is our donors and our sponsors, and those who have been supporting us, our listeners on the podcast and our nonprofits. I'm grateful that they trust us to donate their money, because even for us personally, it's hard to give money unless it's for a good cause, or it's for something that you believe in, because it's money that we had to work for. Our donors and our sponsors, they didn't just come across this money. They actually worked and built their business, or they work a 9 to 5, and they donate their hard working money to our nonprofit to support our mission. So, and that's what I'm grateful for, because I feel that gratitude, because even I have a hard time giving away money, and these people, a lot of people that we don't know on a personal level, or strangers, they just donate. So that's what I'm grateful for this year.
And let me be clear too. It's like me saying that we don't make a cent off of this. That is the absolute goal. I don't do this so I can make money off of this. Like, that's never been the goal with this podcast. The fact that we could grow it into something where we could like benefit other people, I'm happy about that. But even if we weren't doing that, we're dang sure not hustling to enrich ourselves. That's never been the goal of this podcast. And thank goodness that wasn't the goal, because we'd be missing the mark, but I'm happy to say that that's the case. We're not here to grift nothing. We're here to help build and enrich other people as much as we can, even by just being Viapoco Samoan vets.
Yeah. And that's why I love our platform, is that we can make a difference.
So, with that all being said, the last thing we just want to say is, we've thanked our sponsors. We've thanked our guests. We want to thank our following, for, always rolling with us. We just want to leave you with a message now that we're wrapping everything up for 2024. First off, have a Merry Christmas, have a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate. Hope you enjoy your end to the year. And I hope that you feel refreshed and, charged up as we start 2025 together. But, this time of year, remember this podcast, our first topics were, about getting some mental health checks, and, making sure that there's a support network. If you think of us as anything, or you think of us as people you can reach out to, even if we don't know you personally, because what started this whole project was just sorting through difficult mental issues for some of our hosts. And that's a never changing goal. So this time of year, as things get stressful, you might feel some anxiety, reach out to get some professional help. There's, of course, like suicide hotlines and things like that. But if you want just it's a bend, you can reach out to us absolutely through our social medias, on our DMs, etc. Hit us up. We want everybody to make it through and have a happy ending to 2024.
Yeah, and I want to say it's difficult to take that first step. Even for me, I struggle with mental health issues, especially depression. Right? It's difficult to take that first step. But for me, what helps me is getting involved in the community. If you don't want to talk to people, just get yourself going by going to the gym, doing things. I find that when I keep my mind busy and I don't have time to just sit and relax, those thoughts will eventually go away. It's like being angry. If you give yourself a breather, a few seconds to breathe, your anger will slowly dissipate. But I want to leave a message to our listeners, mainly about goals or pursuing things. Always keep in mind that you are your own weakness. You are your own opponent. You're fighting yourself. So always, in order for you to accomplish something, always take that first step, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Get ready to be uncomfortable. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations, especially if you're pursuing a job, pursuing a business venture, or asking someone out, or this applies to anything you do in this life, is always taking that first step. The first step will lead you to the next step. So that's my message to our listeners. We hope that you have please be safe out there, holiday season as we go into the new year. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is a wrap for Behind the Lava Lava in 2024. Like I said, it's been quality over quantity this year. I'm very happy and proud of the work that we've done. Very grateful for all the support that you've given us. Thanks for rocking with us. Until next time, Spencer Harmon, Michael Tan, we're signing out.
Working on my interests, it's who I am. I'm trying to make these digits look like EINs. When the help ain't free, you all help me. Salute to folks who turn their names to LLCs. The wealth is in itself to help a non-profit. To be better women or better men, whether business by veterans or common folks with a dream. We're all born with the same strength. We tread waters that were untouched. Let's be on the same wavelength. Behind the lava, front of our eyes. Let our legacy live off it when we're up in the sky. All signs point to us to help someone make a difference. With God as my witness, cause talk business.